Hello, in this lesson, we're going to talk about the feel of the samba. I get asked all the time, how is it that you can develop the feel of the samba? And one of the things you have to do is you have to be aware of the percussion instruments. The samba is Brazilian. It comes from the Escola de Samba, which is a large group, an ensemble that has dancers, singers, people with costumes on, and then there's a section called the bateria. The bateria is where all the percussionists are together playing, and when the percussionists are playing alone, just the percussion, it's called the batucada. So that was more or less an example of the batucada translated over to the drum set. Okay, the heartbeat of the samba is on the surdo. The surdo is the lowest drum of the percussion section. There are usually 3 different surdo parts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the basic surdo concept so that you can take this, and by learning this idea on your floor tom, you'll be able to translate that over to your bass drum, and your hi-hat's going to be used as well. So here's the idea. You're playing muted note, open tones, and by doing this, you're going to end up with the surdo part. So what I'm going to do is improvise some of the surdo parts that might be played in the Escola de Samba, and this way, then I can refer back to the basic idea to get you to learn how to play the feel correctly. Okay, in this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to learn first the basic surdo concept, which is basically put your left hand on the drum head, and by the way, the tom is going to emulate the surdo part, obviously. So if you have a mallet, use it. If you don't, just use your regular drumsticks. This is in cut time, so you're going to be playing right, click, right, click, right, click, just like this, okay? With your left hand muted on the drum head, like this. That's the very first part. The second part to this is to lift your left hand on the count of 2, okay? And when you do that, what you're going to also do is you're going to tap your fingers on the So you're going to go 1E and tap, 2E and tap. So on the 1E and 2E and 3E and And after the you're going to lift your hand up like this. Okay, I'm exaggerating the motion just so that you can see it more clearly. All right, that is the basic concept for the surdo. Now what you're going to do is you're going to match your feet to your hands, not the other way around, okay? Make sure you match your feet to your hands. What's tricky about this for most drummers is that they want to accent on beat 1 because that's what we're used to doing, playing a really strong beat 1. And for this style of music, the opening and the heavy part is on beat 2. 1E and 2E and the 1E and the 2E and the 1E and the 2E and the bat get doom get that get doom. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind. So first play your surdo part and then match your bass drum and your hi-hat. The click on the rim is your hi-hat. Okay, so here we go. That's the idea. The other thing you can do to get the concept of feeling the two is you can play with one hand, you can play mute, open, mute, open. What this will do is it will free up your left hand to play the variations. Now, I assume that by now you've had a chance to work with the Brazilian Coordination for Drum Set book and go through the coordination exercises, because if you haven't done that, you want to make sure to do that. And then after you do that, you try to apply the feel as you continue to progress and get better and better at coordinating all of the different parts for the samba on the drum set. So I'm going to demonstrate just the one-handed sort of the part with the bass drum, and no improvisation on the snare drum yet. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what happens with the snare drum, and how is it that you can get the interpretation? I suggest that you begin with just a shaker in your hand, and you know the difference between straight eights and then playing it with the accent on one and the two and the one and the two, like this. As opposed to this. Yes, you don't want to play it that way. So da ka da ka da ka da ka da, and you could say da ka da ka da ka da ka da ka da to get that feel going. The other instrument that also plays that feel consistently would be the pandeiro. I don't expect anyone to go out and buy a bunch of hand percussion instruments to learn this, but it would benefit you to learn the basic techniques so that you can learn to feel this better, because once you actually do it on an instrument away from your drum set, it is a little bit easier to then translate it over to the kit. So in another lesson, I will discuss some of the techniques that can be used to play the pandeiro. But for now, just listen for the sound, okay? It goes like this. I was muting on one and opening on two, just like you do with the surdo part. And again, okay? Another instrument that's used is the tamborim. The tamborim also has a very interesting technique in order to get this takaraka sound. So I'll play a little bit of it for you so you can get an idea. Okay, so those are just a few of the different percussion instruments that are used in the Escola de Samba within the bateria. Now, I'm going to suggest to you a sticking that might help you capture this a little bit better. And what it is just right, right, left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left. If you say takaraka, 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 and follow what you're saying with your hands and that sticking, you'll get closer to that feel. One of the things I want to tell you is those right hand stickings, okay, after the first two, are sort of slur. If you know what I mean, you're kind of pulling back on the time. So I'll play that sticking for you on the hi-hat, all right? If you're going to add your bass drum, you'll see that it's relatively easy to do. So Give it a try. Here we go. If you bring that sticking over to the snare drum, it sounds like this. Now, the thing about playing that sticking is that it doesn't free you to go over and play the surdo part if you wanted to play both parts together. And that's where it gets a little bit more tricky because then you're separating your hands. So make sure that you practice the feel with the sticking that I just gave you, right, right, left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left, saying dakaraka, 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 and bringing it over to your snare drum. And then at some future time when you're feeling more comfortable with the feel, and hopefully by then you would have listened to the style, because I really cannot overstate how important it is that you listen to the style of music. Okay, so there you have a lot to work with. Make sure you listen to the style and that you practice this. And if you can get a hold of some of these percussion instruments, the easiest one obviously is going to be the shaker. So make sure you get a hold of the shaker so that you can start to internalize this feel. And then apply it to everything that you're studying with the Brazilian Coordination for Drum Set book and all of the different samba ostinatos that are being introduced to you through the website. Until next time, you take care and drum on.